Right, hello. This is a bit different. Having Joseph Lloyd on Car Addict Garage Northeast. Obviously, Car Addict Garage Northeast is my YouTube channel. This is my garage, Ibbetson's Vehicle Repairs. Well, it's actually my dad's, who's of course doing the work over there, unlike me.
Yes, yes. Well, good afternoon. Here we are up in Choppington, which is in the northeast.
Unfortunately, none of my cars are here apart from that old thing.
Well, we don't talk about that, do we, sir?
No.
Can't talk about that.
Can't talk about that.
No. That's. But what we're doing here, Mr. Ibbetson is from Car Addict Garage Northeast, and you actually are a trained mechanic, and so is your father. You've been here, was it over 20 years?
Actually, my dad's been in business for 40 years, and I was working out a little while ago when I left college and stuff. That's about 20 years I've been in. My dad's been here 40 years, but we've been here at this property about 20 years now. 23 years.
Yeah.
So, but obviously Joseph was quite surprised at the size of this place. Obviously,
You just got one ramp.
Yeah, well, we've got two ramps, but it's not that big inside. However, we have got the height. So believe it or not, you can actually fit a new medium wheelbase high top Sprinter on that lift, no problem.
Yeah.
So we can actually fit decent sized vehicles in. But what the main issue is I'm talking on behalf of Car Addict Garage Northeast here, why loads of people ask, why do I not have multiple cars and keep them stored? Because I can't. Because as you can see in here, that car is actually blocking that lift. There is no place to keep a dead car. And outside, there's loads of area. But again, it's all ungated. Right, it's gated, but it's not, I can't keep them. So it's quite painful having all this space and not being able to use it, unfortunately.
Well, it means that you keep the premises nice and tidy.
Well, it does, because if I could, for safety reasons, it would probably be like a scrapyard back there with dozens of cars, so it's probably a good thing that I can't. But yeah, obviously the YouTubing is just a bit of fun. My real job, obviously, is working this place with my dad. Obviously, regular servicing, MOTs not here, but we tested a different place. All sorts, brake, suspension, the whole lot. New cars to old cars, I don't really have any specification. But as we all know, I don't personally like new cars, really, I don't. I work on them. My dad likes them, he likes his new cars. I'm quite happy on my old cars. So, yeah. I mean, if Joseph wants to show around anything, it feels free,
One thing we need to discuss, actually, is this particular car that your father's working on now.
Yeah.
And this is symptomatic of a lot of Mark 1, 2 and 3 CRVs. So, if you look at the rear axle here,
yeah.
So we have a look in here.
This car obviously does get used off-road, as you can see, quite a lot. The guy does hunting and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it is worked hard, but like we've all been saying, like me and Joseph have just been discussing, a lot of these Japanese cars, as we both agree, are fantastic. I'll give them top marks. However, they all look great on the surface. You very
but then we look underneath.
Yep.
We could go in this bit here,
feel free.
and we can see oh dear me, that's not going to last a long time, is it?
This is just where the fault of bits, and that's why the importance of getting wax oil, rust protection, lanogar, whatever you choose. And just a little bit of a tip, which I'll just show you a demonstration of here, is I wish I could patent this somehow. You can use wax oil, lanogar, you can use the whole lot, and it's very expensive. But and I get it, a lot of people buy a cheap car like this for 100 quid scrap, and you want to just give it a bit of lease of life. I swear to God, pick up some of this. It's just chain grease, and I've been using this for 5 or 6 years, and we'll show over here on this car. And I've done tests with people who watch my channel, is spray a bit of this under your car, 4 or 5 cans of this, and if we look on this area here, just give it a little dusting over, and I swear to God, it does not run off. You could use a brush as well to brush it in, but it doesn't run off, it doesn't wash off, and it really does work. And it's cheap, 3-4 quid a can, and you could probably do the whole lot underneath your car with 5, 6 maybe of them. So top tip to anybody with a cheap car, use some of this stuff.
Yeah.
You get it from eBay, anywhere like that. And if that had been put on this car from new, it would have still been like new now.
Yeah.
Which is the importance of using this. Never mind polishing your car every Sunday. Yes, it's important to change the oil and all the rest of it, but the super most important thing is, especially if you live up north, get some of this stuff put on. It really is so important.
Yeah, because you've got so much road salt up here. You've got tons of it up here.
This is why a lot of people say to me, I've got my little Citroen ZX, as we know, that's like the logo of my channel. And I don't have an argument with people, but a lot of people say, why do you not use it, Dan? I feel ashamed of myself actually this year. I've actually only used it twice. One of which was when I drove it to MOT it and bring it back. Second was when I went to Bamber Castle.
You've only been to Bamber in it?
Yeah.
That's it.
That is it. And I've drove it, but in fairness, I have been away quite a few times with the family this year. In fact, the Caravan, the ML, the car that I would have possibly gotten you to review because it's not forbidden fuel.
Well, that's a petrol one.
Well, 3.7.
And so's your ZX.
Yep.
It's a 1.4 petrol.
That's something I still, me and you need to sort out when I eventually get the thing out to some shows. You're more than welcome to review that.
That's very kind, sir. We like that kind of thing.
And the reason a lot of people say cars are to be used, they are to be used, 100%. But the reason that, think of any older car what any of you guys own now, like say, just let's class my ZX. The only reason that ZX is here right now is it's spent the majority of its life in London and quite a lot of time off the road. So the only thing is, if you've got an old car and you just go, well, I'm just going to use it, it's what it's built for. It is. But the only reason it still exists is because it probably hasn't been
because someone's put it in a garage.
Because that's what ends up happening on an 09 plate car. So
yeah,
I do believe you should use a car. I don't believe these people, but at the same time, when you live up in this part of the country, you may not have seen, and it's again forbidden fuel from Joseph. I've just purchased a 406 Estate just to use through the winter.
Yes, so which we can't discuss.
No,
can't talk about that.
My
Yes,
ML,
sir.
I can't use it. The body panels are getting tired. Me ZX.
They rust, don't they, with them, mate? They rust as well.
All of them do. Even the newer ones I get do. So you just buy a cheap car and you run it. So my advice is, if you do have a older car which you cherish and you want to keep, don't use it in the winter. Because
not up here.
Not up here, definitely not. The salt's just getting spread all the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, but that is various ways you can, Lango guard, all the rest of it. But really, that grease is one of the best stuff you can use. Just as a temporary thing, and any DIY person can crawl under that car and manage to put that on. So yeah.
The thing is, we've been discussing this, like kind of. It's not so much on these newer cars that people drive. I mean, like this CR-V or Mazdas. Fiat in particular, we were talking about because I'm hiring this 500 at the moment, like the rear axles on them just go.
It seems to be the theme, rear axles, rear subframes, front subframes, it just seems to be the new thing on all cars.
Yeah, particularly these 1 to 3 CR-Vs is just what happened, isn't it?
Any though, Vauxhalls are terrible, which was
Corsa D, or you got no Corsa D,
actually, is that still over there? Oh yeah, they brought it back.
Yeah, Corsa D, yeah.
Actually went in for a recall and got a brand new subframe, but that is based on a Punto.
They're not good either.
No, I mean, it's all of them. I mean, even those era of Astra G, Safira A, Safira B, Vectra C, Signums, the diesel ones, and this is the biggest killer, which we've been discussing quite a bit this week. All the wheel arch layer, all the Fords, why they rust so bad, is they use a carpet type material in the wheel arch
and it goes disgusting and wet.
Yep, and the under trays. But the biggest killers of all of those Vauxhall range, even the Insignias actually goes right to the Insignias.
So Insignia A now?
Yeah, the under trays go underneath. They hold the water and the salt, and the subframe sits in it. So it rots away the subframes, and even for MOT purposes, you can't see them. So until you go to change like a clutch or something where you need to drop the whole tray down, then you take it down and you're horrified because you've got holes all along the subframes. Yeah,
of course you got it up here and in Scotland too. This is the first area you're going to find them because winters down south aren't as harsh.
It's a true story. Like we're finding things. I was just on our MOT. I'm an MOT tester. When we used to have refreshers, is you tend to find people up in the Highlands of Scotland are finding problems sometimes 5, 10 years sometimes in advance of what people know about down south. So there'll be problems with cars down south which people are only just picking up now, which people in Scotland have known for a long time because of obviously the excessive corrosion, you know.
Yep.
But yeah, that is a big killer of it, which is very important. Which is why when we service the cars, even just a regular oil change, we go around all the brake pipes everywhere with a brush with some wax oil and grease on and just grease them up. It's just the importance of just creating a little bit of a barrier to stop the corrosion. It's a bit like everything, really. Go the extra mile. Like I was just showing Joseph, the man filters, use original equipment filters, parts. Sometimes only a few quid extra. It's worth it, you know.
Yeah, don't use Drive Master brake pads.
Well, we had a run years ago with those, and do what you want yourself if it's private. If you just want to move a car on, whatever. But when you run a business, you don't want to be doing a job for somebody and they're coming back 2 days later saying my brakes are squealing. So that's why we either fit original equipment stuff or we don't bother at all. Like I said, we've been in business for 40 years. We've got generation after generation of customers. We don't really need to be competing for prices. We just say it is what it is, and we use the original equipment parts. Maybe more expensive, but we'll get no comebacks. And that's the way to be. But yeah, it is. I mean, when you look at all these new cars like to these Reynolds and stuff, if you don't use all the original parts on them, the amount of problems you can have with them when you've got to redo a job again, like Joseph's just talking about like a bulb, just to use a cheap bulb in one of them, you can spend nearly an hour tearing your hand to bits to change it, and the bulb only lasts a few days. So even down to bulbs, which we've got over there, Osram, the only bulbs I'll use are Osram, which every car just about leaves the factory with, you know?
It's just a shame that like not more of these places exist anymore, because this is just like a sort of type of business that's not really around very much.
Well, you see your work, like the pile of stuff down here, I was just telling Joseph. So if, you know, the customer wants to ask, what was wrong with my exhaust? You know, you can say, well, the exhaust was in 2 bits, sir. What happened to my spring? Well, it was broken. Why were my brakes wobbling or squeaking? That's why. And as you all know, when you go to a dealership, you're talking to somebody at a desk who isn't a qualified mechanic, and they're just telling you that you've had service A+ done. And A+ could mean to anybody anything, couldn't it? Apart from when the bill's 300 quid and you realise you paid 300 quid for A+, which could mean you have had an oil change done.
That's one of the reasons why we sort of moved on my mother's Mercedes, because it was so expensive to service it. We had to get it done in the approved way, either at the main dealer or a specialist, because that's what you need to do, because you have to use the electronic star system.
It is.
And you have to use specific Mercedes-Benz oil and Mercedes-Benz gearbox oil on the cars. That's one of the reasons we got rid of them. Whereas the sort of stuff you work on tends to be kind of, you know, stuff that lasts longer, because you can talk to the person who works on the car and you're fitting sort of decent parts but not ridiculously expensive parts.
But I must say we do service a lot of new cars still under warranty, and we have obviously I was saying Trade Parts Express, well, we quite often work on cars under warranty and we get the parts from the dealers. So we have an actual invoice from, say, Stoneacre for the parts and the oil and everything, and it all comes straight through, and there's no arguments that way, because they've actually got the parts. And sometimes it even surprises us, because I'll just show you here, we've got some 016 oil, which is as close to nearly water.
060?
Toyota.
060 oil?
16.
16?
Anything less.
So that's not even 0W20, it's 0W16.
It's down there somewhere, bear with us. It surprised me and my dad the other day.
So I've heard of 020.
This is it here. Obviously genuine Toyota.
Oh my gosh.
But the do is 08.
What engine would that be for then?
That was actually just for a little IGO.
That's for the IGO engine, is it? The 1 litre?
But this would go into obviously all the newer hybrids, like the latest generation, like the RAVs, CHR, all of the different ones, basically. But the do definitely do a 08 now. That, to me, is getting to the point of past being economical. It's going to actually cause, I personally think, burning of oil. Which, let's face it, burning of oil causes more particles, more pollution. So I know they say it's for economy, but I don't really see personally. I just think we're getting a little bit carried away now, and this is where we're finding it.
I think a lot of
dangerous now for knowing all these grades of oils. I mean, something which I've learned off one of my friends who works in a garage up the road now, and I'm fearful of our business for this, and I'm fearful of everybody out there, is now these brand new cars, Fiat of course are the first who have been doing this, and Jeep, where when you want to have any diagnostic work, this isn't just when your car's under warranty, service lights reset, you need what you call dealer codes, and you've got to buy them as packages from Fiat or whoever, and every time you want to plug your machine in, just to read a code, just to delete a service light, you need to use a code every time, and each one of them codes cost you money. And I do believe that is going to really affect garages like myself, and then down the line of owners of the cars, where you just need to take your car in saying, what's this engine light? And the person says, look, I've got to use a code to access it, and that's like, I know it's quite a lot of money. I can't quote how much it is, I haven't looked into it myself, but I do believe this may be the end of
block exemption.
Anything really, like when you're buying a 3-4 year old car with a warranty, just to get the codes looked at, you're going to have to actually pay separate money on top of the diagnostic equipment for the person using the diagnostic equipment to buy the codes.
It's crazy, isn't it?
An access code.
I mean, as you say, like I'm not sure, like does everybody be aware of this, but if you have a new car and you want to do everything by the book and get it serviced, you know, with manufacturer's parts and serve a warranty, you don't have to take it to the main dealer. In fact, actually, that's for a main dealer to tell you that you need to take it to them is actually wrong.
It is.
And so, you know, this is what we've been doing with the SsangYong for years. We've been having it done at Mr. Coleman's uncle's place, and you know, we get as close to original parts as we can because SsangYong won't sell you the original parts, but we have to we could get it the equivalent, and that's actually not perfectly fine.
It's like block exemption is fine. Like I'm showing you the MAN filters we use. You buy like an oil filter from Kia, it's MAN, so it's the same stuff, but we try not to go down that route because I tend to find, in the case of SsangYong, yes, but what I tend to find is, even though we know MAN filters in Bosch are what you get, if the car does go in, say, with a knackered engine or a knackered turbo, which is quite excessive, and the dealer's looking and say, what have you been using? And you say, I've been using MAN filters, and that can sometimes ruffle their feathers. So what we do, every car we get in under the manufacturer's warranty, regardless of the costs, we always buy the filters and the oils from, say, Mazda, Toyota,
branded ones.
In that way, you've got an invoice number from them, like Stoneacre, to put on our invoice. So if they take it in with an engine or whatever, you know, they know that we've actually gone the extra step to do it. So what I wouldn't, even though you block exemption, you can, I would still, if you do use like a third-party garage like us, and if your car's under warranty, I would still always advise for the remainder of your warranty, just pay the extra and get the dealer parts. But I can guarantee you'll take a Ford filter out the box, it'll be a MAL filter. You could get the MAL filter for half the price, but it's just not worth the hassle. Get the dealer stuff, but don't take it into the dealers, because I swear we're very, very disappointed with some stories we've heard lately. I'll not get into it, but it's shocking the amount of times. And I sometimes go in, a bit like what Joseph does, like helps people buying cars and stuff, and I sometimes pose as like a family member, like a son or whatever. And the amount of times I just sit there when they're buying a car, say in Honda, and the guy at the desk turned around and says, would you like to take a service plan? They say, no thank you, my local garage does that. And they turn around every time saying, no, you can't do that, it's against the warranty, which is lies. And I just wonder
that's not true.
And I just wonder how many times that gets repeated over the years, you know. It's shocking that they can get away with it, but that's the story for another day. But like I said, definitely I would always say use genuine parts if you can. But yeah, I hope I've given a bit of advice there. I keep meaning to do these videos myself, but I just never get around to doing it.
Well, you're a busy boy, aren't you?
Yeah, as you can imagine. Actually, you're getting lucky with a film in there, but Joseph has actually been here at the garage for about an hour, and you'll be surprised how many people come and go. And that's what I have to try and deal with whilst trying to record and fix the car, and it gets quite difficult. So that's why I find it hard to run the YouTube alongside the garage, which is why I do less filming here now and more just on the projects that I get, you know. So
yeah, I understand that.
Yeah, but it's been very good to see Joseph again. We obviously chatted car shows, but Joseph's busy doing what he does. I'm busy doing what I do, and you kind of clash in the middle. You pause the phones, you have a few minutes to speak, and the chances are you don't see each other for the rest of the show. You know.
Well, I mean, we looked this up. It's 340 miles up here.
Yeah.
So it's not exactly down the road.
No. And obviously Joseph's here going to be doing a few reviews of people's cars. I'll not mention what they are because you'll obviously be keeping them, private. But yeah, I know a few of the people's cars who he's going to review. So they're good ones. I know there's quite a few good ones there. So he's going to be getting some good content coming from Joseph, from them. Where's it you're travelling? Oh, you've got to go down to Middlesbrough, Teesside.
That's it. Yeah. It's down there tomorrow.
Are you travelling any further up north to here?
No.
Obviously you've been to see...
We've been to Nigel, yeah.
Nigel. Hello to Nigel. There's Nigel there. Nigel quite often comes into here. Says, but yeah, it's nice. I appreciate Joseph coming here to do a bit of recording, and I would like to try and do the same sometime when you're recording something when we meet at a car show.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much, sir.
No, thank you very much.
Don't forget to subscribe to Car Addict Garage North East. Thank you again, sir.
Honestly, thank you very much. I appreciate your time coming to visit me.
Yes, and so we will see you again soon for more sort of impromptu videos.
Yeah, thank you. See you later.